So here I'm with Hikaru Nakamura. Hikaru just made a draw, but after yesterday's game, what was your approach to this one, your preparation?
Yeah, so I mean, there were a couple of possibilities. Either I could just throw my game plan out the window and play something completely crazy, and maybe it would go my way, or maybe it wouldn't. But I think the experience of playing the candidates definitely played a huge role. I think when you've played a couple times, you've seen how generally the last couple of rounds, crazy things tend to happen. It didn't feel like the moment to go crazy, and on top of that, I had a feeling that if my opponent was going to look at anything, he'd look at some of the openings that were most aggressive, and with someone like Shakra on Nijat's team, it just didn't make a whole lot of sense. And also because, frankly, if I were to lose today, I mean, on some level, you could say the tournament's over. Maybe I can go crazy every game and win like 5 in a row, but I mean, it's very easy. You can end up losing 3 or 4 in a row, and then like you're just basically on vacation for the last week. And I mean, it's more fun to at least have something to play for, so it just didn't seem right. And my opponent was very boring today. Apparently he didn't feel very well. He was quite sick, as he told me after the game. So maybe if I had known that, I would have done something different, but overall, it's what it is, and just very, very solid draw.
Yeah, maybe just a couple of moments in the game which you can show, let's say, a couple of critical moments.
Yeah, I mean, there was... well, first of all, I mean, he played the exchange Slav, which was, I mean, not a huge surprise. I thought he might do it, but I mean, my attitude was I felt that he would want to play more interesting chess, mainly because I think from his standpoint, at least, he's the one player here who, I mean, in reality, probably has no chance of winning the event. So I figure if he has a chance to play against the top players, do some preparation, try to play some interesting chess, maybe learn something, and without the sort of pressure or expectation to try and win the event, that's what I thought he'd be a little bit more principled. But as I said, he was sick, which I didn't know, and so he just played something very solid. I mean, the first moment was right here. After bishop d3, and I was debating here whether to play this move e5. I couldn't quite figure it out. Like this was actually the one moment that I didn't know, because he can obviously just trade everything off. We can get to some position like this, and it's probably going to be a boring draw. But he can also play. He can also go bishop g5, e4, takes, and I wasn't sure how to assess this. Very, very hard to judge. Like I have queen a5, king. I thought king f1 was maybe king e2. Like it's very, very tricky. I don't know what's going on here, and I also didn't think there was any risk of him losing. So, I mean, let's just say king e7 and something like rook d1. I mean, maybe the computer will say black is better here, but I don't really know how you're supposed to play this, because the king is very weak on e7. I mean, of course, I could make some argument that at least the kings are on e2 and e7, so there's some kind of joke in there. But I just wasn't sure whether to do that, because first of all, if I'm wrong and he's prepared, and this is actually good for white, then there's a good chance I lose the game. And if I'm right, it's still just going to be a dead draw anyway if he just trades everything on e5. So because of those reasons, I chose not to play that. And really the rest of the game I think was very, very boring. I mean, I was trying to induce him towards the end, somewhere around here. I was trying to induce him to play this move knight c5. This is what I was hoping he would go for, because after takes, I thought I was supposed to play knight e5 maybe, or maybe this one's unclear, something like b3 and a5, and I wasn't sure what was going on, but I didn't think I ever had any risk, and I thought I might be able to win this position potentially down the road.
Bring the king maybe?
Yeah, bring the king around. I mean, white, it's also very tricky though, because white has like f4 here, something like this, and I mean, if white gets a3, b4, white could even be better, but I didn't think I could really end up in trouble in any of these endgames, so I was kind of hoping he would do it, but then he didn't do that, and I mean, really at this point already, I mean, I could go king f8, I can play b6, but against a player who's this strong, it's, I mean, not something I'm going to win. I mean, in blitz game, I think I would win this, but in a classical game, no chance.
Yeah, okay, blitz game is different, but...
well, it's just knights are better than bishops in blitz games. That's what it is. Exactly. But in a normal game, it doesn't matter.
That's exactly the story here. And I want to ask you in general, how do you feel here in Toronto already a few days? I mean, so far, not apart from chess, let's say, what is your routine after?
Yeah, I mean, it's okay. As I said at the start, I mean, the weather's horrible. Not a fan of it. Today it's better, so but it's still too cold. I mean, I like the warm weather. I try to avoid spending time on the East Coast these days. There's a reason that I no longer spend time in New York, even though I grew up there. So the weather I'm not a huge fan of, but overall there are a lot of fans here, which is quite nice. I think it's good. And it's also a place I'm very familiar with, of course, with the Chess Champions Tour having been here the last couple of years. So yeah, it's nice to be here. It's decent.
You feel this support of fans here? I mean, when you go out from the building?
Some. I mean, it's fine. I mean, honestly, I really loved Madrid when I played there last time. I mean, the fans were crazy. The fans were like very rowdy. It felt very, very sort of sporting. I mean, here it feels like there are a lot of fans. I mean, not to say that it's bad or anything, but just Madrid, I felt it more than I felt it here. So
Yeah, I remember you
yeah.
had some problems to reach even the entrance.
Yeah, but I mean, it's Spain. It was summer. I mean, everything was great. So I preferred that, but I wouldn't say that it's terrible or anything. I mean, I know some of the other players have already been complaining about the room's too small or spectators, all this other stuff. But I mean, as I've said a few times already, I mean, it's not my fight at this point in my career. So I'll let everyone else deal with that.
Okay. Thank you so much,
Sure.
Hikaru, and all the best of luck
Yeah.
for the next rounds.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hikaru